Welcome, everyone, back to Decoding with Cody. This is a live stream. Decided to go live a few minutes early here because it's getting late here in Germany and I don't want to be up too late tonight. So if you're in the chat and you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Also, if you can see the screen clearly, let me know. We're going to go over a few topics tonight, and hopefully there's going to be a few of you that want to come on the stream. Once again, the stream here is always open to join. I don't want to be on too late tonight, but I will definitely take a few people on the stream if anyone wants to come on. X2 Trouble gives me a thumbs up. So I imagine that you can hear me clearly. But it seems like on the stream, there's no video. Can you see the video, guys? Or is it just the picture? Now, for some reason on my end, I cannot see on YouTube the actual stream itself. So let me go back in and try this. See on YouTube the actual. There it is. Okay, I can see it on my end now. Just had to reload my app here. All right, guys. Well, I'll wait for maybe a few people who want to still join. 6 of you in here so far. It's been a little bit since I did a stream, but it looks like Juliet's question here. She asks in the chat, in your decodes, do you see a hard border closure happening around the end of this year? Well, that could possibly happen. The border closing, this whole thing with Biden and his border control, that's been one of his major flaws in his supposed regime is that he hasn't been able to control the border. And that's been a lot of that has been blamed on Kamala Harris. So, there's been a few times where these Mexicans or these people that have crossed the border have supposedly been dropped off at Kamala Harris's house. And I don't know if you guys ever saw those news stories, but they were dropping people off at Kamala Harris's house. So this is going to have some sort of tie-in with that, I'm sure, what I'm about ready to talk about here in this decode. And also, as far as closing borders down, I mean, what's this climate change agenda going to be? Have you guys seen how hot it is in India and Spain? That the temperature, I think I read that the temperature was like 125 degrees in parts of Asia today. 125, So, of course, they're blaming global warming. They're blaming global warming. So when are they going to start shutting down our borders because of the climate change? That's something I need to look into in the numbers. But I will give that a look this week, Juliet, and I will see what I can find. So thanks for the question. What's up, X2 Trouble Music? Nice to see you, bro. ES, nice to see you as well. Bruno, also nice to see you in the chat. We got 16 of you in here. I'm going to start going through this information here in a minute. But this decode is kind of just stuff I've been researching over the last week and putting together. We're going to talk about Biden and this connection with this 81. And I posted this information in my community section. A lot of you probably already saw it, but I'm going to go over it. I'm going to add a few things to it. And we're also going to try to talk about earthquakes. And there's a few people that might want to jump on here and also talk about earthquakes. So anyways, let's get into reading through this. I'm just going to read through my writing on YouTube that I wrote in my community section. And I'm going to lay all this foundation for you guys so we can kind of go over why I believe this August 1st date is important. You guys know I've already been talking a lot about August 9th. But I believe that this August 1st date is also very interesting. So let's talk about Biden and August 1st, right? And the first thing we need to know here to lay the foundations for this is that Biden has a connection with this 81 number. And sorry, guys, my computer is messing up here. But anyway, President Biden equals 81. So let me go over the gematria here. Hold on. I gotta fix this. Anyways, President Biden equals 81 in gematria. So let me show that. I had a feeling this computer was going to be acting up on me. This computer can barely handle these live streams. So we're going to go over the calculator. And on this channel, you guys know that I use gematria. Most of you guys already know this. So again, let's see. Biden received 81 million votes in his election. They tell us he received 81 million votes. Well, why do they tell us that he received 81 million? Well, maybe because President Biden equals 81 in gematria, okay? So President Biden receives 81 million votes, and his name, President Biden, which he's mostly known by, is 81. That brings me to August 1st. Hold on, guys. My computer, I told you this was going to be this is going to be annoying, guys, because I totally got messed up here. So anyways, back to what I was saying. President Biden equals 81. He received 81 million votes, and he is currently in his 81st year of life. Because when you're 80 years old, that means you've started your 81st year of life. And his 81st year will be complete on his birthday, which is 111 days before August 1st, which is 8/1. His birthday being on 11/20. So that means 8/1 is 111 days before his birthday, which the 111 is a big number, guys. President of the United States equals 111. Let me show you that. It's in the Chaldean cipher, which I often use. So President of the United States equals 111, and August 1st, 8/1 will be 111 days before his birthday. Okay. And again, he received 81 million votes. Now, why is this day also important to Biden? Well, because 8/1 is the day leaving 152 days in the year. Okay, and this is a Biden number, again, because if when we go over to gematria, once again, lots of malfunctions here tonight. So if we go over gematria again, we're going to see that Joe Biden equals 152. August 1st leaves 152 days left in the year. Joe Biden, 152. Okay. His vice president, Kamala Devi Harris, equals 152. Okay. The word American equals 152. All right. But that's going to be a number I talk about more later on. But here I write that Joe Biden equals 152 to Kamala Devi Harris 152. Okay. 8/1 leaves 152 days in the year. And earlier in the year, on the 152nd day of the year, Joe Biden falls on June 1st. So on June 1st, Biden falls at an Air Force Academy graduation, okay? Why did he fall on June 1st? Well, that's because, once again, guys, his name equals 152, and he falls on the 152nd day of the year. If you go over to the calendar and you go to June 1st, you're going to see that it's the 152nd day of the year. And again, I've showed so many times how this number is connected to Biden. So that leads us to 8-1, which is the day leaving 152 days. So what do you think they're trying to tell us here, guys? He falls on the 152nd day of the year. And then on 8-1, President Biden equals 81 is the 152 days left in the year, and Joe Biden equals 152. He already fell on the 152 day of the year. So, and don't forget, guys, he fell at an Air Force graduation ceremony. The first time Joe Biden ever fell that was covered in the news was on Air Force One. He's always falling in relation to transportation, whether he's falling on an airplane or on a bicycle. He's always falling because of in relation to transportation. Now, this has to do with Mercury, who is the god of transportation. But I think the reason he always falls in relation to airplanes is because there's a possibility that Joe Biden could be in an airplane crash. That's just one of the possibilities. But I think it's a real possibility. So with that being said, from the day Joe Biden fell this year on the 152nd day of the year, on June 1st, to 8-1, which is the day leaving 152 days in the year. Let me go to the calculator. So from the day he fell this year, 2023, June 1st, to 8-1, so both of these days have the 152 connection. They have 61 days in between them, okay? And that's the 18th prime number. So this is the golden ratio, guys. This is the 1618. The golden ratio is 1.618, okay? And Biden falls on 1/6, which is the 152 day of the year. And what's going to happen with Biden on 1/8, which is the other half of the golden ratio, which is also the day leaving 152 in the year. So how does this number 152 go along with the golden ratio? Why is this such an important number? What is this 152 number? Well, I think I figured it out today, and I'm going to show you. So if we go look up the equation for the golden ratio, you're going to see that the golden ratio equation, in order to get it for the phi golden ratio, is 1 plus 5 squared over 2. This could be written as the number 152. And I want you to notice once again that the two dates on the calendar that line up with the golden ratio, 1/6 and 1/8, both have the 152 day connection, just like the equation that you use to come up with the 1618. Okay, the first 5 digits of the golden ratio are 1618, and the equation that you use is 152, 1 plus 5 squared over 2. Okay, do you guys see what I mean? This mathematical thing is all about the golden ratio and the 152 leading you to the 1618. And again, Biden falling on 1/6, and what's going to happen with him on 1/8? Both days being the 152. So again, this is a huge discovery, guys. Why is the 152 important? I think it's important because it's how you solve the golden ratio. It's the 3 numbers involved. And again, guys, there's 61 days in between 1/6 and 1/8. And 61 is the 18th prime number. So once again, guys, you get the numbers 1/6 and 1/8. This is all a riddle with these 4 numbers, the 1/6, 1/8. Now, also, Joe Biden fell off his bike on June 18th, 2022 in Delaware. And why is that important, guys? Well, once again, it's a golden ratio reference. The golden ratio is 1.618. So one of the dates in the year that you could write as the golden ratio is June 18th, which is 618. And of course, Biden falls on 618 last year, 2022. And what happened this year on 618, guys? Well, on 618 this year, what happened? You had the Titan Let me see if I can get this computer to work again. You had the Titan implosion on 6/18 this year. And this was exactly 1 year after Biden fell on the bike in Delaware. And again, this is the golden ratio date. June 18th can be written 6/18. And again, in 2022, Biden falls on 6/18. The next year, you have this Titan implosion, okay? Once again, this is all about travel, guys, because all these things have to do with vehicles, airplanes, bicycles, submarines, all types of travel. So in my mind, it's very possible that Biden somehow gets in an accident, whether it's an airplane or car or whatever it is, because they've been foreshadowing it so many times. Now, another thing about the Titan implosion is that the Titan imploded exactly a year after Biden fell. Well, Titan equals 64 like Joe Biden. Let me show you. So Joe Biden equals 64 in the base cipher. And Titan, which is what imploded, also equals 64 in the same cipher. Okay. So again, they're symbolizing this implosion, this fall. All right. So the Titan implosion was 44 days before the date I'm talking about, which is 8/1 or 1/8. And Joe Biden also equals 44. So it's 44 days before 8/1. And Joe Biden equals 44. And remember, the 152, the date, August 1st, leaves 152 days. Once again. Now, back to the 152, as I showed you, the 152 is the number you use to get the golden ratio. Okay, as I showed you guys just a bit ago, it's 1 plus 5 squared over 2. That's how you solve the equation for the golden ratio. Now let's talk about this event that I believe was super coded. It was an event that happened on July 11th, and it was the Judgment Day. Okay, the Judgment Day coming to NXT, which is a wrestling promotion, on 7/11, and they invaded. The Judgment Day invaded. Now, why is the Judgment Day involved in this, guys? Because I believe that Biden's crash, whatever this is to do with Biden, is going to bring about possibly a war or possibly some sort of event. I don't know how it's going to play out exactly, but I just see a lot of clues in this for Biden to go. And then what's going to happen? Is Russia going to use something to attack, Biden and take down his plane? How's that going to happen? So anyways, I don't want to be too long-winded, but I just want to let you know that I think it's going to be like a domino effect. When Biden goes, other things are going to come after it. And I've seen predictive programming for this in movies. One specific movie to check out is called Knock at the Cabin. Okay, that movie, I believe, predicted something with Biden and then an airplane crash. There was also a movie that came out earlier this year called Plane. And the title of the movie, or the slogan for the movie, was "The Crash is Only the Beginning." And it was about a plane crash. Okay. So what does that mean, guys? The crash is only the beginning. So anyways, on July 11th, the Judgment Day group in WWE comes to NXT. And so let's look at the Gematria for this. Guys, my computer is malfunctioning. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't even think I can continue this stream, guys. My computer just gave out on me. It's literally not even working. I can't even move the mouse. Anyways, hopefully you guys can still hear me, but my screen it's not going to work. My computer's too old, guys. The stream just overloads it and it knocks it out. This is why I need to get a new computer, but I don't have the money for that right now. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't think I'm going to be able to continue this stream. because if it keeps doing this, it's going to, I can't even move the mouse. It doesn't work. It's been doing this for the last 3 days, and that's why I haven't gone live. Well, I thank you guys for coming to the stream, at least. I appreciate you guys, as always. Square Peg's in the chat. Hello, Square Peg. Your sound was messed up. I hope that wasn't a messed up sound for everyone. Hopefully the sound is good. The sound should be good, but I don't think the screen is going to be good. Well, my screen's working again, but it's probably going to go out. So just so you guys know, I can't even fix this because for some reason it zoomed in on my YouTube. I'm going to have to reload the page. But I can't keep opening stuff because it's just going to overload the computer. Square Peg says, how do we buy you a coffee? Yeah, I need to sign up for this website. I don't even know what that is. Is there some sort of website where people can buy you a coffee or something? My goodness. This is about to drive you crazy. Anyways, maybe you guys can actually see that now. X Trouble Music, he says, yes, this Denver thing was very correlated with Biden falling. Because remember, Biden fell in Colorado just days after, or days before, the Colorado team, the Denver Golden Nuggets, right? The gold team, just days before they won the NBA Finals. And what does the Denver Nuggets equal in Gematria? It equals 161, which is another reference to the golden ratio. And of course, their name, the Denver Nuggets, is a reference to gold. So again, back to the golden ratio. I told you guys that the way you solve an equation for the golden ratio is 1 plus 5 squared over 2. And this is the Biden number. Joe Biden, 152, Kamala Devi Harris, 152, and Biden fell on the 152 day. Okay. So I was talking about the Judgment Day because the Judgment Day is a WWE group led by this guy, Finn Balor, right? And Finn Balor on July 11th led his group, the Judgment Day, into NXT, and he performed a final blow on a guy whose name matches Joseph R. Biden in almost all ciphers. So what I wish my computer was working so I could really show this. But I just showed you that Joe Biden equals 152. This guy, Finn Balor, who's also Irish like Joe Biden, also equals 152 in the same cipher. And Joe Biden, remember, August 1st, it's a day leaving 152 days in the year. And in this match, Finn Balor, who equals 152, he performed a move to end the match on a guy named Carmelo Hayes. And Carmelo Hayes is the current NXT champion. And NXT stands for next, okay? Like next president, right? But anyway, Carmelo Hayes is born on August 1st. I mean, what are the chances, guys? Joe Biden, 152. Finn Balor, 152. He jumps off the top rope and lands like a plane crash on top of a guy who's born on the 152 days left in the year, Carmelo Hayes. Okay? This guy was the guy that took the final blow. The move that Finn Balor performs is called the coup de grace, which is French. Okay? This is the French phrase for a final blow or a shot given to kill. So Finn Balor hits the kill shot on the guy who's born on August 1st. And his name, now watch this, guys. His name, Carmelo Hayes, is a direct match to Joseph R. Biden. And Joseph R. Biden has a motto that he uses called finish the job. So I want you guys to see these three words, right? The guy who gets the final blow done to him by the judgment day, Carmelo Hayes, is a direct match in 3 out of the 4 ciphers to Joseph R. Biden. And Joseph R. Biden's motto for gun control is called finish the job. And I just want you guys to notice that finish the job and Joseph R. Biden are a match in all 4 ciphers. And this is the motto that he used in his gun control speech that he did earlier this year. So let me just type in finish the job. Hopefully it comes up. And what does finish the job mean? Well, finish the job is exactly like the move that Finn Balor did to Carmelo Hayes. See, you can see right here, guys, his phrase is finish the job, okay? And just notice that the word job is 1 letter off from the word Joe. So it's like finish the Joe, right? Finish the job, finish the Joe. And what's the chances that Finn Balor, who equals 152, like Joe Biden, performs the kill shot on Carmelo Hayes, who also equals finish the job and Joseph R. Biden? Okay, do you see how clearly they're scripting this? Because again, Finn Balor's move is called coup de grace, which means a kill shot. I want you also to notice that the word coup de grace can also mean an action or event that serves as the culmination of a bad or deteriorating situation. So it can also mean an event, right? An event. So what is the chances that Carmelo Hayes, the guy who takes the kill shot, is born on the day I'm talking about, August 1st, right here? And he's born in Massachusetts, which is also connected to the Irish, right? Boston, Massachusetts, known for the Irish. Biden is Irish. This guy, Finn Balor, who did the kill shot, he is also Irish. And yes, I see a few of you in the chat. Yeah, Carmelo, Kamala. Yeah, very, very interesting connection there. But anyway, you'll notice that he's also black, right, guys? Just like Kamala. Can't even say her name now. But just like Kamala's name, you know, Carmelo, he's black and he takes the kill shot, but he's also the NXT champion. So he represents the next president. All right. So anyways, back to what I was writing. You guys can go to my community section and read through this whole thing so it makes more sense to you. But anyway, the Judgment Day performs this kill shot on July 11th. July 11th leaves 173 days left in the year. So why did they have the Judgment Day come to NXT and perform a kill shot on July 11th? Because it's the 173 days left in the year. Now, this is the other big number. Let me show you guys just so you guys can see that July 11th is the 173 days left in the year. Okay, right here. And the Judgment Day comes and does a kill shot. And what does Judgment Day equal? It equals 173, which is the number of days left on the day that they perform this ritual. All right. And the 173 is the 40th prime number. And this is going to be important to know because 40 is, you know, it's tied to this ritual, but I'll explain it in a minute. So anyways, Judgment Day equals 173. They perform the kill shot on the 173 days left in the year. Now, again, I already explained that Finn Balor's move is called the coup de grace. But if you type in the meaning of the coup de grace in Gematria, if you translate it from French to English, it means stroke of mercy. And once again, just like Judgment Day, stroke of mercy equals 173. So again, stroke of mercy 173, Judgment Day 173. And they do this on the 173 days left in the year. And this goes perfectly with Biden's catchphrase, finish the job, okay? Or finish the Joe, as I say. Finish the cup of Joe. Anyway, don't forget that Joe Biden is Irish descent, and Finn Balor, the guy who gives the final blow, is Irish. Now, Finn Balor, again here so you guys can see, August 1st leaves 152 days in the year. Finn Balor, 152. Joe Biden, 152. Kamala Devi Harris, 152. Judgment Day, 173. Okay. Now, what about cancerous lesion? Okay. Well, it was earlier in this year, on March 3rd, cancerous lesion, Joe Biden. So I just told you that Judgment Day equals 173. And Joe Biden had a cancerous lesion removed from his chest this year. And in Gematria, cancerous lesion, once again, equals 173, just like Judgment Day. Okay, so it's Biden's Judgment Day. And of course, he had the cancerous lesion removed. And they said it was because of skin cancer, which also equals 173. Okay. And notice that skin cancer and Judgment Day have a 2-cipher match, 43 and 173 in these 2 ciphers. Okay. And then he, like a lesion, was discovered on, well, they released the news on March 3rd. And from March 3rd, my computer stopped again, guys. Hold on a second. All right, give me a minute, guys. I'm going to go to the chat while my computer stops being a pain. Let's see. Square Peg. Yes, Herbert Hoover died the same day Kamala was born. And remember, it was Gerald Ford who gave the speech in the Herbert Hoover Library about the first female president. And he did that 2 days before Kamala Harris's birthday. And he did it in the Herbert Hoover Library. And then Kamala Harris was born the same day Herbert Hoover died. And that also leads us to this August because WWE is having an event at Ford Field. And again, it was Gerald Ford who gave the speech in the Herbert Hoover Library about the first woman president. And it was Abraham Lincoln who was shot in Ford's theater. And it was John F. Kennedy who was shot in a Ford Lincoln. So Ford Field this year in August 5th is quite interesting. Let's see. So yeah, let's get back to the March 3rd thing. So March 3rd, they discovered they released the news on March 3rd that they discovered a cancerous lesion on Joe Biden, and it was because of skin cancer, and skin cancer equals 173. Cancerous lesion equals 173. And Judgment Day equals 173. Okay. And I just told you that on the 173 days left in the year, the Irish guy who matches Joe Biden for the Judgment Day, which equals 173, did a kill shot. Okay. Now, if you measure from the day they released the news about the cancerous lesion to 8/1, you're going to get that 152 number again. You see that, guys? Perfect. 152 days after Biden's cancerous lesion was found leads us to the 152 days left in the year, and Joe Biden equals 152. Okay, 152, that huge number tied to the golden ratio, as I showed you earlier. But I also want you guys to notice that it was 4 months and 30 days, like 4-3, kind of like skin cancer equals 4-3. So is something going to come up with Biden on 8/1 that he's got cancer and it's like terminal? I don't know, but is it going to be a plane crash? Because I also told you that skin cancer equals 173, but plane crash also equals 173. So I want you guys to notice this resemblance between the words skin cancer, which they said Biden had, and the word plane crash. It's almost a direct match in all 4 base ciphers. So, is Biden going to die from a plane crash, or is he going to die from skin cancer? I think they've given us a lot of clues as to one of these things being the case. Now, remember, earlier this year, the Korean president came to the White House and sang American Pie to Joe Biden. And what's the song American Pie written about? It's written about a plane crash in 1959. Again, symbolism for a plane crash. And it's all about this number 173. So again, skin cancer 173, cancerous lesion 173, plane crash 173, and Judgment Day 173. So let's go back to my writing here. So anyways, on 3/3, 152 days before 8/1, it was announced that Biden had a cancerous lesion, 173. 8/1 leaves 152 days in the year, and Biden fell on the Air Force One, or he fell at the Air Force Academy on the 152nd day of the year. Plane crash 173. 173 is the 40th prime number. 173 days before 8/1 was the 40th day of the year. Do you see this, guys? Perfect again. The 40th prime is 173. 173 days before 8/1 is the 40th day of the year. And Biden was in Tampa Bay, Florida. And if you type out the way you write Tampa Bay FL right here, it also equals 173, which is again is the 40th prime. And Biden was in Tampa Bay on the 40th day of the year. Now, Tampa Bay, the football team, has the skull and bones logo. Okay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me show you just so you guys can see. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the skull and crossbones. And the skull and crossbones are all about Yale University, Skull and Bones Secret Society, right? And Joe Biden was in Tampa Bay, Florida, FL equals 173. And the university that uses the skull and bones logo, right? And look at this, guys. Yale University equals 173. So he was visiting the Skull and Bones city with the Skull and Bones flag on the 40th day of the year. The 40 is the 173rd prime, and the Yale University Skull and Bones is 173. Okay? And again, skin cancer, 173, which is what they found. They found his skin cancer 7 days after he left Florida. Skull and Bones, right? Now, getting down to the last things here, guys. I want to also point out that August 1st is the full moon. We know that full moons can bring about some interesting events, right? The full moon on 8/1 is a buck moon. And I've been talking about Judgment Day, but I want to show you the connection. If you type in buck moon and judgment, it's a direct match in all 4 ciphers. Okay, so you have this Judgment Day skit in WWE pointing to August 1st, and now August 1st is a direct match. The buck moon that's happening on August 1st is a direct match to Judgment, 94, 31, 122, and 41. So that's the buck moon. And here's the other big piece of information, guys. I talked a lot about the golden ratio. And remember, Kamala Harris is from the Golden City, San Francisco. And earlier this year, on January 17th, 2023, the Golden State Warriors of the Basketball League were at the White House, and they gave jerseys to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. They gave Joe Biden the number 46 because he's the 46th president, but they gave Kamala Harris the number 1. And the guy who gave them the jersey, Stephen Curry, equals 152. Okay? So Stephen Curry gives Kamala and Joe Biden a jersey. His name equals 152, just like Joe Biden, 152. Just like Kamala Devi Harris, 152. And August 1st is the 152 day of the year. So again, I'm going to keep coming back to this number because it always comes up every time I look into something with Joe Biden. And I'll just pull up a picture so you guys can see. Joe Biden gets Golden State jersey. So here it is, guys. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get the Golden State, right? Like golden ratio. I already said in this whole video, I'm talking about the golden ratio. And Biden gets the 46 and Kamala gets the 1. And it's given to them by Stephen Curry, who equals 152, like Kamala Devi Harris, like Joe Biden. American also equals 152. And Joe Biden is the average Joe, like an American, right? So just so you guys can see, the word American equals 152. Just like Joe Biden. As a matter of fact, Joe Biden and American are pretty much a direct match, I believe. Yeah, look at that. Joe Biden and American are a 3 out of 4 cipher match. So when Joe Biden goes down, I think American also is in for a rough time. Anyways, this is all the information, but now we're going to shift on to the earthquake stuff. And if Square Peg wants to come on and also add her earthquake stuff, I'd like to bring her on because I know she's done research on that too. There's also a member in this community, Sean, who was on one of my last live streams. He also has information about earthquakes. And I posted this. If you guys want to go to my community section, I posted this earthquake discovery about this article that was released about an earthquake in the Pacific Northwest. It's called The Really Big One. Okay. And I showed how, let's clear this out, and I'll show you how this all lines up with this earthquake. So this article was written in July of 2015, and it was called The Really Big One, and it's about an earthquake. And this earthquake it's written by Catherine Schultz, and it's about a Pacific Northwest Cascadia fault line and an earthquake that will devastate the Pacific Northwest. And the article is called The Really Big One. Okay. And of course, this article is about Seattle because they're worried about Seattle. And I just want you to know the really big one equals 247. So this is the big number here, 247. And the article is written about Seattle, Washington, if I can spell, which also equals 247. The really big one, as it didn't get in there, equals 247. And the earthquake they talk about in there is based off in Revelations, great earthquake is the phrase they use in the book of Revelation. And isn't it interesting, guys, that in Revelations 1:6, 1:8, the golden ratio, they talk about an earthquake? Is that true? This isn't the right chapter, but I didn't even realize that the golden ratio verse in the Bible is about an earthquake as well. I believe, this could also be pointing towards the Golden Gate Bridge and the golden city, Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, where Kamala Harris is essentially from. She's from Oakland, which is very close. But what's the chances that this earthquake is mentioned, this great earthquake is mentioned in the 1:6, 1:8 verse? That's the golden ratio. Okay. Anyways, back to this article, The Really Big One, written about an earthquake in Seattle, Washington, the Pacific Northwest. And the word great earthquake also equals 247. So what's the chances that this girl writes an article about a great earthquake in Seattle, Washington, and they all have the number 247? You see it, guys? Great earthquake, 247. The really big one, 247. Seattle, Washington, 247. And to me, this also could mean July 24th. So, I mean, that's the date written. If I go over to the calculator here, July 24th is written 247. What's interesting about this day, guys, is it's one day after the 161 day. And I told you this golden ratio keeps coming up, guys, the 1618. July 23rd is the 161 days left in the year. That's the first three of the golden ratio. The next day is the 247 date. And the 247 is connected with the earthquake, the great earthquake, the really big one, the article about an earthquake, and Seattle, Washington. And, you know, I think it might happen next year, but we'll definitely have to be on the lookout for this July 24th date because this number keeps coming up with this earthquake stuff. And I did research about this way back last year about this article. And don't forget, guys, this article was released on July 20th, which is around the same time frame we're in right now. It was released in 2015 on July 20th. And yeah, so some interesting connections there. This also goes with Jurassic's research. If you guys know Jurassic Liars, there's a lot of connections with his Seattle event that he talks about. So yeah, I mean, this and the verse in Revelation that talks about a great earthquake is Revelation 6:12. And if you measure from the great Japanese earthquake, which happened in 2011, to July 19th, which is tomorrow, guys, it's 612 prime. So from the Japanese earthquake that happened on March 11th, 2011 to tomorrow is 4513 days, which is the 612 prime. And in Revelation 6:12, they mention a great earthquake. Okay. So very interesting that from the Japanese earthquake to tomorrow, which is the day the article was released in 2015, the earthquake article, tomorrow is the anniversary of that. You measure from that earthquake to tomorrow is 612 prime days, and Revelation 6:12 talks about the great earthquake. So very interesting. All right, so anyone want to jump on? I pretty much shared everything I want to share. I want to kind of bounce ideas. Is Sean in the chat? He's the earthquake guy. Square Peg has probably stuff that she can add to this, I'm sure. Let me know if Sean's in the chat. Okay, so you both are in the chat. Let me add the link so you guys can jump on. And again, guys, my computer is just about on the verge of its death. So if something happens here, just know it's probably my computer. All right, guys, link is in the chat. And when you guys join, let me know. I'll see you guys pop up here. And so Square Peg and Sean, please join whenever you're ready. Let's see. Just waiting for the two people to join. Hold on, guys. Square Peg's going to be joining the chat. Give me a minute. Okay, so it looks like we've got both in the chat, Sean and Square Peg. Square Peg, can you hear me?
Yep.
Ooh. And guys, let us know in the chat if you can hear her, just to make sure.
Hello.
Waiting for a thumbs up here. And then after I get a confirmation on that, okay, you can hear her. We'll add Sean. We'll make sure you can hear him. Sean, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
All right, well, welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Sure.
Thanks for having me.
And it doesn't matter who wants to go first. I know that Square Peg probably has a lot to share too. And Sean, I know that you're the one that brought up this Revelation earthquake thing to me a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering what else you have to add to this.
Well, let me step outside real quick. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
Oh, you needed your check, right? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Hey. So this has to do with what you were talking about with the Japanese earthquake. Which it's so, you know how I told you that Revelation 8:11 or 6:12 is the 108th verse of Revelation. Remember? You
Yes.
remember that?
Yes.
So it's crazy because from that earthquake to the date 4/5/13 is exactly 108 weeks.
Wait, say that again?
From the Japanese earthquake, the one on 3/11/2011, right?
Uh-huh.
From that earthquake to the date 4/5/13 is exactly 108 weeks.
Okay.
So it was like just perfectly lined up just for that.
Yeah.
Verse.
There's something definitely going on with that number because I don't remember. There's a few things I discovered with that measurement, and when I measured from that Japanese earthquake to tomorrow, and I saw that it was the 612 prime, I was like, oh shoot, like I didn't have any idea. I remembered you mentioned that number.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that number too is Jurassic Liars, who's in the community, he talks a lot about a Seattle event and stuff like this.
Yeah, I follow. Yeah, I keep up with him.
Yeah, and his channel's all about the 162, which is June 11th, right? Which is like one day before June 12th, which is like 612, which is the number that.
It's just like I was thinking what was interesting about that date too is that it's because it's 6/11, right?
Yeah.
So also remember how I mentioned last time that the ordinal value of Revelation 6:12 is 1331.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's like, so the 6th prime is 13, and then the 11th prime is 31. So that kind of creates that 1331 again with the 6.
Oh, that's a good observation because also that's a big eclipse number.
Yep. Yeah.
Because the 1331 is, I forget, how is that tied to eclipse again? I always forget. Derek always says that, but how is that tied to eclipses? Do you remember?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. So in the year 1331, I'm trying to figure out the best. Let me say, not the so well, if you type in land and fall, both of those equal 13 and 31. Like landfall, like for the the eclipse enters like the United States. So there's a lot of other ones too, but
yeah, I really have to study up on Derek's 1331 eclipse code because I know it's a big code.
Yeah. There's also like a circular connection with, because I know I heard about you from 7-1's channel.
Oh,
and, and he's all about the 811.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
the
but he also talks about
141.
612. I learned a lot about the 612 from him. But
I just watched his video today and made a comment on his last video he made about Biden and Harris as well.
yeah. So 612 and 811, like they have a really strong connection with in different ways. So like for instance, so Revelation 612 equals 1331, but 1331 like the time
Yeah.
um is 811 minutes into the day.
Right.
So
Okay.
so if you write that in like military time, like 13:31, that's 811 minutes into the day.
And that's the 141st prime, right? Late 811 is the 141st prime.
Yeah, and I have like a huge thing to like get into. Like that was what you're talking about with the 152, with 811. I'll get into the earthquake stuff too, but I'm really into like the 811 nuclear stuff as well.
Uh-huh.
So 811. So the first time that 811 shows up in pi, it's the 152nd. It's the 152nd position of pi. That's where the
Really?
811 first shows. Yeah, and so we're talking about like the golden ratio, right?
Yeah.
And you're showing the connection between 152 and the golden ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So, so 811. So you know what you just said. 811 is the 141st prime. It's interesting because Revelation 811 is also the 141st verse of Revelation. So it's like intent. It seems like it was like really intended that way, and so like, from one. This is the time. There's like a time code, but the time of 1:41 a.m. to 8:11 is, I think, 8:11 p.m. So 1:41 a.m. to 8:11 p.m. is 66,600 seconds. And when you
Okay.
add 141 plus 8:11 plus 666, that's 1,618.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So there's a big connection with all that stuff, like 152, 811, 141, and 666. And
Yeah.
666 is like the Fibonacci spirals, like the golden ratio.
Yeah, and when I found out today that the 152 is used in the equation to solve for the golden ratio, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well that makes sense why the dates 1/6 and 1/8 both have the 152 in their, 152 day of the year and 152 left in the year.
Yep.
And then I realized that this is all tied to the golden ratio. And this is about, like, to me, when I think of the golden ratio too, it's about the birth of like this perfect child, this new world that they're trying to birth.
Right.
Because I saw a lot of things in the Super Bowl this past year, Super Bowl 57, which was all about birth, because birth equals 57, mother of Jesus 57, birth ritual 57. And you just had King Charles. I believe he has a 161 in his name somewhere, I think. But he's like this, birthing of this perfect. He's like a symbol of that. He's not obviously perfect, but he's like a symbol of this, like this birthing. And also the word great reset also equals 152.
Oh wow.
And Great Reset is what I think is what they called like the new world, the birthing of the Great Reset. So this 152 keeps coming up, and
Yeah.
I guess you're giving me a little bit more clues as to why. And I that was interesting what you said. You'll have to write that in a post for me or in the chat. If you can write that and like share that in the chat, or if you can just write a post on one of my videos about that.
Yeah, definitely. Or like, I mean, even hopefully, maybe I can like, because I have like, this is like all my notes right here, it's like insane. But
Okay.
I would definitely love to like maybe email you or something. But yeah, I'll share everything, like, because I'm trying to figure out all the stuff too, and like your stuff helps me like a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, it seems like we're kind of on the same. We're going in the same direction with it. So
Yeah. And there's a lot, because there's been so many things happening like the past few days, like, and then like it's all like tied to like the fact that Oppenheimer is about to release, the movie Oppenheimer.
right, yeah,
So I mean, yesterday there was the train derailment, which is, about the train derailment in Pennsylvania.
yeah, I heard about that. Right,
That
yeah,
was like basically like a Chernobyl type of thing, and you know how, I mean, I know you must know from 7-1's channel how Chernobyl ties to Revelation 8:11 because the
Yeah,
Ukrainian word for
it means wormwood, right?
wormwood is Chernobyl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like it was like a Chernobyl incident, and the Crimea bridge was attacked. So it was like a bridge attack, like an attack, like a. I've been looking into a lot of like the bridge, like bridge destruction symbolism, and so it was both of those things happened on the same day, and then like a few days before was the like how you pointed the Alaska earthquake.
Yeah, the Alaska earthquake. It came. You had mentioned earthquakes last time you were on, and then I was looking into earthquakes, and then we had that earthquake a few days ago,
Yeah,
and I was like,
and it was a 7, like I said, because it was 7.2, and then like because 6 times 12 is 72, so it's just like it's just so obvious, but it's like
yeah,
it's a lot though. And there's another, oh, and the fact that you what you were bringing up on the 11th of this month, because Oppenheimer, it premiered in France on that day.
did
So
it?
that was so that's technically the first.
Oh, in France.
Yeah, and then and 7-1 talks about the Eiffel Tower representing 8/11.
Well, also in that Judgment Day ritual for the WWE, the group, the Judgment Day, the Irish guy Finn Balor, who's, first of all, guys, I forgot to mention that the word Balor in Irish, it means like the killer or the deadly one, and it's based off of the god of the Irish god Balor, which also connects to Baal, like Baal in the Bible. But anyways, it was Balor who does the move, the kill shot move that he uses the French word for that, which is the coup de grace, which means either a kill shot to a wounded opponent, or it could also mean an event that's a culminating event, right? And of course, on the same day that Oppenheimer releases in France, the guy with the French named kill shot is performing that on, the guy that I told you, the guy who's from Massachusetts, right? And I believe, doesn't Oppenheimer have a connection to Massachusetts?
The Manhattan Project. Is that what
But where was Oppenheimer born? Hold on.
Oh, where was he born? Uh, I'm not sure. I thought it was in Germany.
No, his
Oh no, his parents were from Germany. That's right. I
yeah.
think you might be right.
I thought he had a connection to Massachusetts. Maybe not. He was born in New York and he died in New Jersey.
Okay.
Anyways, I just thought it was interesting. You said that the movie premiered in France the same night that he was performing the kill shot, and it's a French move called coup de grace, right?
Yeah, that
And
is crazy actually.
well, of course, the Jesuits, right? They're founded in France, right? So it really does all tie back to them a lot of times. Also another thing is with the Jesuits, there was something I found today that also ties with them in this, but you're always going to find that. Remember, Paris, France equals 56, like the Society of Jesus 56, all that kind of spiel. But
Yeah.
yeah, Square Peg. Let's let Square Peg get in for a second.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So, is there anything that you heard between us, or that you wanted to share specifically that you're seeing, or anything like that?
I don't know if you guys mentioned I think you guys talked about the Latuya Bay earthquake in '58, right? The mega tsunami earthquake landslide.
I mentioned that in one of my posts, I believe, but we haven't talked about it on here yet.
So last year I figured out that 58 has a connection to 22 last year, and then so 59. I just did a whole show about 59 yesterday, and that connects to this year. And there was in Yellowstone Park the Hedgen earthquake and landslide. It created Quake Lake, and that was in Yellowstone Park, Montana, in 1959.
Oh.
That's crazy.
And
It's interesting that you brought that up right now, because I saw like well, because I know with earthquakes, the year of the ox is tied to earthquakes, and I think like 2 days ago or something, there was a report about a bison attacking someone in Yellowstone Park.
People are so dumb. That happens every year. At least one person gets gored by a bison in Yellowstone every year.
Really?
It's so dumb.
I guess it was just perfect timing for it to come up like right
Yeah.
now as all this stuff is
Totally.
going on.
Yeah, what?
If it
I
is
don't
involved.
think I wrote the date down for it. I didn't write the actual date down. I just wrote 1959
It's
because I know
August.
isometrics and it's not that precise usually, you know.
It's August 17th. I'm bringing it up on the screen right
Oh,
now.
that's right. Because there was it was weird because they listed the landslide as happening on July 17th, but all the rest of it on August 17th, and I was like, something's hinky with these dates. And
Yeah,
August, you and I have talked about the August 18th, like 17, 18, 19. Remember when we were talking about the Carrington, the football player?
right. Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
And then I was looking also, I looked at a bunch of things last night, but 1783 is 240 years ago. That's 4 60-year cycles back. And then there was a huge earthquake in Italy that killed 80,000 people. And then 2 volcanoes in Iceland in 1783 as well. They were just a month apart. One of them, I think, in June. Yeah, one in June, one in July. And they killed thousands of people too. 9,000 in one and 10,000 in the other. And it caused widespread famines. And I've been talking a little bit about the coming famine as well. So there's that to look forward to.
Well, yeah, that's interesting that the earthquakes led to famines. You know.
Well, yeah, because it blocks out the sun.
Yeah.
It's like the year without a summer, which I always forget what year that was. But it was because of all the particulates in the air.
All I can see here is that based off of what I'm seeing here, it was also a 7.2 earthquake, just like the one the other day.
Yeah. And they said it was the worst one in a long time. I forget. Where does my notes go? Oh, I didn't write it down. I covered that in my show yesterday, yeah.
And as Sean was saying, with the 612 verse being the great earthquake, 6 times 12 is 72, so you get this 72 again.
What's
That's why.
The great earth? Oh, the verse in the Bible.
Yeah, it's Revelation 6:12 it mentions the great earthquake, and that's 6 times 12 is 72, just like the earthquake yesterday. And tomorrow again is the 612 prime days from the Japan earthquake. And
I don't know what that means.
Like so the prime days, so from the Japan earthquake to tomorrow.
In 2011?
Yeah.
That's way more than 612 days.
No, it's the prime days. So it's 4,513 days, which is the 612 prime number.
Ah, gotcha.
So it breaks down to the 612.
I gotcha.
And what I also go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to tell. I found a bunch of things. Well, I found a bunch of things in 1885. This is the first time I've looked at 1885 because it's 138 years ago. Is that right, or is it 108 years? I get them. No, it's 138 years ago, right? And there was a bunch of things in there. Holy cow! The Statue of Liberty, the Washington Monument, the first motion picture. The Salvation Army started that year. The first public cafeteria, the first gas pump. There were vaccine riots that year. All kinds of stuff. Just tells me that public transportation is shutting down. Maybe all transportation, no gas. That maybe the Statue of Liberty and Washington Monument. Like it was all kinds of things.
What year exactly was that again?
1885.
Oh,
which is 138 years ago.
Yeah, and it's got that 85 in it too.
Yep. And I also found a bunch of things in Seattle because you had mentioned Seattle in your post yesterday.
Yeah.
So I looked at Seattle and it ended up sending me down a trench, which I've talked about. Trench.
Yeah.
And because there's only been 4 movies in which Seattle was shown destroyed. I was surprised it was very few. And they were, well, there's 2, they're all really bad, by the way. They're all like C movies. I wouldn't even call them B movies. They're like really bad. But
Yeah.
there was one called Chronicle where Seattle was destroyed and they ended up looking down into the center of the earth. And there was also Descent and also The Descent. Both came out in 2005. Two movies, one called Descent and the other one called The Descent. And I was like, okay, are we talking about a trench? Because I've talked about that. And there was Storm Cell and then 10.5. So then I was looking at the Journey to the Center of the Earth with Jules Verne. That's 1864. 95 years later is 1959. So there's the 9.5 and the 5.9. And then I did, what is it? 48 years. I don't even know. 48 years from what? Oh, the first film of Journey to the Center of the Earth to the second one, which was in 08, was 48 years something.
Yeah.
And that, I divided the difference by pi, and it brought me to December of this year. So some sort of journeying into the Earth, which is what I found in Seattle when I was looking at those movies. It ended up leading me, like Descent and the Chronicle movie, where something cracks open and they're looking down into the Earth. And then there was a 4D version, which I don't know what a 4D movie is, but that played the year after the 08 version with Brandon Fraser. They did a 4D version of it at Georgia's Stone Mountain Park, and I was covering that a year ago. I talked a lot about Georgia's Stone Mountain Park, so that one just cracked me up. But
Interesting.
I think that all the birds I've been seeing is related to Admiral Byrd.
Who is it? Admiral Byrd?
I think that's why I'm seeing all the birds everywhere. Everywhere, birds. Right, Pam?
Who's Admiral Byrd?
Admiral Byrd, he's like the first guy to go to both the North and the South Pole. And he went down into the center of the Earth, supposedly, you know, and found Agartha and the people who were living there and all that stuff. So then there's the Journey to the Center of the Earth, and I ended up with Silence of the Lambs, but I don't think I went any farther because, like, it's Hannibal Lecter, and then there's Hannibal Hamlin, who was Lincoln's VP, and Hannibal Lecter, Jodie Foster played Clarice Starling, another freaking bird, but I didn't really get any farther than that on that trail. I was like, I don't really think I want to go down the Silence of the Lambs trail on this one, but Hannibal, of course, rhymes with cannibal, and the cannibal stuff has started coming up, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not ready for cannibals yet.
Yeah, that's not a fun topic for me either.
No. So, but it's starting to pop up. I even covered it like over in the winter time sometime. Because it really made a nice, pretty isometric thing that was really neat. Like it wasn't all messy with a whole bunch of dates, and it was really clear to show people what isometrics was. But the topic was cannibals. Like, I'm sorry about the topic, guys. It just worked out really neatly on the chart here. So yeah, definitely earthquakey looking for sure. And possibly, I was saying in my show yesterday was it yesterday? I lose track. But that possibly Yellowstone, like, there could be a big ripple event, like a big rock falling into the pond regarding Yellowstone Park. But it could be something like the opening up of the earth, like trench-like Journey to the Center of the Earth down to Agartha with Admiral Byrd, and gold being discovered there. And that would make a huge ripple event, you know, not a bad one, but a good one. Like, if there's another gold rush in Yellowstone, that's going to be a positive energy. It's still going to cause a big ripple, but it's not going to be a negative association, right?
Right.
So I threw that out as a possibility yesterday based on what I was seeing. that I think it was yesterday, that it would be nice to have like a positive event ripple, you know.
Yeah,
so
well,
many,
I mean,
so many
with
things
this
that I
stuff
look
going
at are yeah.
with this stuff going on right now with Ripple XRP, it would make sense. And Ripple XRP
Oh
being
yeah.
tied to this gold thing, and this whole thing with Ripple that's going on right now is tied to all the events that are going on. I keep looking at it and I keep seeing how it's completely, for almost 3 years this thing was going on with the SEC, and then it comes out, it's over now. It just feels like they're about ready to let things loose. So,
It's
I
taken a really long time for things to get rolling, and so like I expected things to be way farther along now. I expected Biden would be out of office by now, like I thought we'd be way farther ahead by now, but I think the longer it takes for things to actually get rolling, the more like bam bam bam, one right after another, and it's going to be a huge like shit show, real like bad. Because
yeah,
instead
that's
of things being sort of spaced out over the year, it's all going to be jammed up here towards the end of the year, Because there's a lot of things coming, but they're all kind of attached to each other. Like Captain Flatastic was talking in the chat about Disney not doing so good. And I said Disney was going down months ago, last year, I think it was. And that's tied in with the child traffic down the street, and you got to be careful in traffic sort of thing. And that's tied to the egg office administration, and there's the Kennedy, Two Asses in a Nation, and all the other ones that happen in water rabbit years. So there's all these things that are due for this year, and because they're connected to each other, they're bunching up. The dates are all bunching up together.
Yeah, and it's what's interesting too is we're getting very close to this 79-year anniversary of the Bretton Woods moment, which was about gold, the gold standard, right? And 79 is the atomic number for gold. So we're about ready to get to the 79th anniversary of that, and you have all this golden ratio stuff coming up. I just feel like something with San Francisco is also very possible.
I
Like,
use the golden ratio all the time. I mean, I divide and multiply stuff by pi all the time.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's like a basic. That's a basic constructor of the sim that we're in. Like
yeah.
phi is everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah, and it's crazy what I noticed too. If what I noticed about the golden ratio also is that the creator of Bitcoin, right, Satoshi Nakamoto, apparently he was born on, well, if he's a he anyway, he's probably a CIA agent, but they list his birthday as April 5th, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what year it is, but I know that if you measure from the year he was born, the exact day that he was born, to the day that he released his book called Wave and Ripple,
Oh,
it's exactly the golden ratio,
right on.
1618,
Of course.
16180. It's the first five numbers of the golden ratio. Perfect.
I like how Waters Above describes the dude as a myth.
Yeah, a myth. Yeah.
That's probably the closest we're ever gonna know. Like, is it AI that's been here longer than time? Is it a myth entirely just a story? Is it a guy like Q? Like I don't know. Is it actually a person, or is it just a dream, a figment?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when I saw that it was the golden ratio from his birthday to the book, that book, and that book that he wrote was based off of the Japanese wave portrait the drawing, and it had the word wave and ripple, and I was like, you kidding me? Like, it was just crazy. So, yeah, I just had to say that for everyone to hear, because I noticed that when my girlfriend discovered that on the measurements, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. 16180, the first five digits of phi. And whenever I think of phi, I think of the number five, right? Because five, and yeah, so it's just interesting. I've found a bunch of cool things with the golden ratio myself, but I can't remember them all.
And can I add a golden ratio thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It has to do with what we're just talking about with Oppenheimer. So it's just a quick date duration, but from 1618, so January 6, 2018, 1618 to. So the movie's actually going to release in the United States on the 21st of this month. So the duration between those two dates is 66 months and 6 days.
Okay. Interesting.
Ripple crypto just went through the roof? Like
Yeah,
just today? Or the other day?
Not today, just the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's at
It
70.
came back down again, though, right?
It's about to go up again. I'm watching the charts. It's about to go up again.
Yeah.
I mean, and what's funny is it's at 76 cents right now, and Ripple equals 76.
Is someone typing? Who's typing?
Not me.
I'm not typing.
It might be like the mic from Sean. It sounds like typing, but I don't think he's typing.
Huh.
Or is that?
Yeah, I'm not typing.
Yeah, it is a strange noise. I did want to mention, guys, while we're on this topic of earthquakes, another reason why I really pointed to tomorrow to watch out for earthquake tomorrow is because remember the earthquake that happened already this year? It happened on February 6th.
There were lots of earthquakes this year.
The big one that I can remember, the one that happened on the Queen's Ascension Day, and it was tied to like it was tied to the golden ratio as well. I remember doing a decode on that.
And the Turkey earthquakes in February, the Turkey ones?
Yeah, the Turkey. I called it the Key of David earthquake because it was right around where the supposed Church of Philadelphia was, which the Philadelphia is the phi, right? And supposedly that's where it was. It was around where the actual Church of Philadelphia was started in the Bible. And if you measure from that earthquake in Turkey to tomorrow, it's 163 days. Well, what does earthquake equal in Gematria? It equals 163. So from the earthquake to tomorrow is 163 days, and earthquake equals 163. So it's interesting. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but I'm just saying maybe we get some sort of news tomorrow about an earthquake somewhere.
Yeah, I saw some really interesting dates with the date that you shared, the 19th, right?
The 19th, yeah, tomorrow.
And somebody in the chat was saying earlier they had a real nervous feeling about tomorrow.
So
I have a nervous feeling about tomorrow too because it's the 200th day of the year and it's got 69 date numerology, which this 69 is not necessarily always a good number.
I'm curious about it too because I noticed it was the 200th day of the year, but next year it'll be the 201 day of the year.
Yep.
And it would make sense for there to be a ripple event a year ahead of something, you know?
Yep.
And then 201 tells me it would be a false flaggy kind of a thing, not real, you know?
Well, the next 2 days with the 200th day and the 201, obviously the 201 is the big Jesuit number, the Jesuit order that the Pope Francis lives in Suite 201. His name equals 201. William Henry Gates 201.
Yeah, Fed Now is supposed to go live on the 20th. Yeah,
that's the supposed date. They actually haven't. I don't think they've actually confirmed it, but this Fed Now is completely tied to the Bretton Woods moment in 1944, like completely tied to it, as Waters Above has already showed in his decodes about that.
Right. And this year is connected to 1781 over the 1902 flip date, and that is the date. December 31st of 1781 was the first United States bank opened, the Bank of North America.
Wait, what date is that again?
December 31st of 1781. The Bank of North America, the first U.S. bank opened.
Oh wow! To tomorrow, it's 88. It's 88,223 days till tomorrow. Wow, interesting.
Hey, what's the Trump code? What do you text to get a hold of Trump?
It's
8822.
880022, I think.
Okay, it's close. Yeah. So that's what I thought. That's what I saw in my head when I looked at those numbers there.
Well, it does have the 223 and the 88 in it, and those
right?
I'm real. Oh, it's a prime number too. It's a 8557 prime.
I got a list of 88s, things that equal 88. It's kind of interesting. Aside from Trump, you got King Kong, Purple, Poison, Minnow, like Gilligan's Island, the SS Minnow, Mormon, California. Oh, I thought there was another one, but that's as long as my list goes. Oh, Radium. Yeah, well, that's what 88
But
is.
I don't know if you
Go
guys
ahead, Sean.
had heard this yet, but I don't know if you guys heard this yet, but it's so King, you know, King James, like who the Bible's like the King James Bible.
Right. Yeah.
So the first day that the Titan sub was like officially missing, it was like the 400. It was his birthday, but it was his
June 19th.
457th birthday. It's his 457th birthday, and that's the 88th prime.
The 88th prime. Yep.
And
that's what's funny about that date? I turned 33 on that day.
Oh well.
And you know what? Just for more information about I just want to share this real fast. I was 33 years, 3 weeks, and 3 days old when the lawsuit ended for Ripple. And I remember the reason I met this girl that my girlfriend I'm with now was because of this XRP Ripple thing. And the lawsuit literally ends on when I'm 33 years, 3 weeks, and 3 days old. And the judge that ended it was 33 weeks after her birthday. And it was on the day 137, which is the 33rd prime. So yeah, I just thought that was crazy.
Wait a minute, 137, that's the fine structure constant. That's the breath before you sneeze. That's like it's the spark plug gap right before the spark and the flames of 138 in the Phoenix.
Interesting. Yeah.
137 is a big one. I did a video on that one. That's one of my favorite videos.
Well, I'm hoping that means that Ripple's
And,
spark here soon, because I really could use the money, to be honest.
You gotta set up a buy me a coffee site, dude. It was super easy to set up.
Yeah,
I figured it out.
I'm gonna look into that. I'll look into that for sure.
But the reason why it's the reason it's interesting that it's it was his 457th birthday is that 457 equals or earthquake equals 457 in the satanic cipher.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah. But also
yeah,
your 719. Okay,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
go
ahead.
So with your date tomorrow, regarding the fact that Revelation 6:12 is the 108th verse, I have two like 108 connections. So you know how so the 4,513th prime number is 43,223. So that's like the date that just passed 4/3/2023, right?
Yeah.
And that's so from that date 4/3/2023 to your date 7/19 is 108 days. And from when the Nuggets won the NBA Finals on 6/12, which that's a huge 6/12 ritual in itself too. Like,
it is.
I could go over some time, but from there till your date, it equates to 1 month, 0 weeks, and 8 days or span. So it's two 108s tied to 6/12, and 7/19 is the 128th prime, right?
I believe so. Let me look. Hold on. 7/19. I know the reverse of that. Yeah, it's the 128 prime. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So there's another code I got from 7/1, and like I see it everywhere now, and I'm almost 100% sure it's like for sure being used, but it's the 2319, like from Monsters Inc., the emergency code. Are you familiar with that, the 2319 code?
No, what is that?
Well, it's from Monsters Inc., the movie Monsters Inc., and it's like they have an emergency because they find, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's basically just like this scene where they like shut down the place because it's like a huge emergency, like something bad happened, and they have like people come in and they have like a nuclear sign flashing, and like so it's just like a bit like emergency scene. But the code that they use, it's called 2319. So they say we have a 2319, and that code is actually like used so much in all this stuff, like because 2319 stands for White Sox, like the Chicago White Sox, like White Sox, like WS, because the 23, 23W19S,
Right. Like,
right?
yeah, also like Seattle, Washington. That's actually Jurassic talks a lot about that, those two
Yeah.
numbers.
1923 is
uh,
connected to this year big time, and that's the Honda Point naval disaster and the Great Canto. Huge.
1923,
and
huh?
so I didn't even really like specify, but in that scene, so like because they're in like the monster world, and then whenever like they go to scare children, they bring something in because they think that the human world is like super contaminated. So somebody came in and had a white sock on their shoulder, like a monster had a white sock on their shoulder, like so that's where they get 2319 because WS White Sox. And
Yeah.
so like the Chicago White Sox and like Chicago, that's where if you remember, like when when the Cubs, they won the World Series after like 108 year streak, or like year drought, like they didn't win for 108 years, and that was
Right.
so
The curse of the Billy Goat, I guess that was.
Yes, something like that. But so anyways, going back to that like 2319 thing. So like since 719 is the 128th prime, when you break down like the 128, like the first prime is 2, the second prime is 3, and the 8th prime is 19. So it's like a little hidden 2319 right there.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And from 2319, the date like February 3rd, 2019, to Caesar's birthday that had just passed that you had mentioned, that was 4 years, 5 months, 1 week, and 3 days, like 4,513.
Yeah, the 612 prime again.
And Little Caesars started in 1959.
Did it?
Yes.
No, the pizza.
Wow, interesting.
That's funny.
Also, I'm looking at 1915 now, which is 108 years ago. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of stuff here. Like
1915,
Oh, wow.
you said.
1915 is 108 years ago, yeah?
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at
And
that.
so let me read you off a few of these things I've just been finding. The first submarine sinking, where did it go? I lost it now. I'll come to it again. But the first 12-reel film was released called The Birth of a Nation. That's interesting. And then the first U.S. ship lost in World War I. U.S. Marines occupy Haiti. Where did the little submarine ship that sunk go? I lost it now. Oh, first submarine disaster. A U.S. F-4. So Frank 4 sinks off of Hawaii. And there's a bunch of stuff that connect this year to various things in Hawaii. I really think Hawaii is going to be the first state to leave the Union, and it might not be their choice necessarily, because they might just get cut off by some sort of disaster. I don't know. There's a lot of things that connect this year to Hawaii. And Hawaii is not only the Aloha state and the Rainbow state, but it's also the 808 state, which dropped the 0, and there's your 88.
That's like the area code or what?
I don't know. I didn't look it up, so I'm not sure. I was like, the 808 state. That would be my guess, too, but I did not look it up.
What's interesting about Hawaii, I just want to add here while you're on that, the American Idol, you guys know that show, right? Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The singer that won this year was a big boy. I mean, he's a big boy. And he's from Hawaii, and his name is I Am.
Huh.
They literally call this guy I Am, and his last name is Tongi. And I did some looking into this guy's name, and there's some huge like God symbolism, because in the Bible God says I am that I am, right? And
Yeah,
like there's this huge connection with this guy. I got to look more into him, but he's from Hawaii, and the story that he tells is his father died, but before his father died, his family had to move to Seattle because Hawaii was too expensive. they kept saying he got priced out of Hawaii, right? And so the story behind this whole character, he ended up winning American Idol, and his whole story is that he had to move to Seattle because Hawaii was too expensive. And then there's this Seattle-Hawaii connection, and then eventually the other day he was getting a lot of flack because he was singing the national anthem at the All-Star game that was in Seattle, and he forgot to take off his hat.
Oh boy.
And what happened there, though, it was obviously done on purpose to me, because in the Bible, God is the head, right? And we're supposed to wear a hat to basically say that God is your head, or you're covering your head, right? It's a head covering. And this guy not taking his hat off, right, was kind of like symbolic that he's kind of, I don't know. There was just this symbolism here that I saw, because his name is I Am. His real name is William, but they call him I Am, or Iam. And
as a previously head covering Christian Bible thumper, men are supposed to leave the hats off, and women are supposed to have their heads covered.
Right, that's what it was. I used to be one of those too, but I forgot. I just kind of put it behind me on that. But yeah, I've been through the Bible thumping thing too, where everything's very strict.
Yeah. So 1959 is also the year that both Alaska and Hawaii became the last two of the 50 states.
1959?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I've been saying, the last one in is going to be the first one out, which is Hawaii.
Yeah, I could see that.
Palindrome style,
And the 5-9 kind of has a little bit of a connection with the like golden ratio Fibonacci stuff too, because the 5th prime is 11, and then the 9th prime is 23, and then like Fibonacci day is 1 1 2 3, like 11 23. First, those are the first 4 numbers of the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, 11 23. Yep.
So that's like the 5th and 9th primes. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah, this year 59 was big because when I first started looking into that movie called Knowing, which I think was huge predictive programming, that movie was all about 1959, because the girl that predicts the end of the world, she originally predicts it in 1959. And that was her big thing. I mean, she was like, and then the boy that gets her list of her dates, he gets them in, like, I think it was 2009. And yeah, because it was like 50 years. And then 2009 was when the world ended in that movie. It ended on, what was it? I forget when that movie ended. I think it was October something. The actual world ended in that movie. And then what happens was the aliens come back and they take the children away, and then the children are supposed to repopulate, right?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Don't they bring a rabbit with them too? That's so symbolic.
Both of them are holding rabbits, which is why it was interesting connection to this year, because
sure.
Jim Carrey, right? Jim Carrey. The more I study this guy, the more his movie, the number 23, was all about the number 23 and 59. I mean, all of his roles he's played, a lot of his roles they equal 59. He was in the 23, and he, this 23 and 59, like I said, August 8th this year is super coded with Jim Carrey and something with the number 23. Another thing about Jim Carrey is he was born the same day as Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's running for president now, right? And that's 203. 8/8 is 203 days after Jim Carrey's birthday and 23 weeks before his next birthday. So the 23 converges on 8/8. And Jim Carrey was in the movie, the number 23. And that date has 59 date numerology. And it has 23 date numerology. So, and it's on a Tuesday, and Tuesday equals 23, and Jim Carrey's birthday this year was on a Tuesday, which equals 23. So again, there's something really big about the day 8/8. And that was last year, that was the day Trump's Mar-a-Lago got raided. So,
yeah, that's right.
And that's Trump's number, the 8/8.
Yeah. Oh, here's a little fun event that happened Oh, where now I lost it again. Dang it. I got way too many pages. Oh, it was August 20th of 1915. Chicago White Sox obtain Shoeless Joe Jackson from Cleveland. So there's Cleveland, there's the son of Jack, there's the JJ, there's the White Sox. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Shoeless.
Crazy fractal connecting
I think-
every dang thing.
Another thing
Go
I got
ahead,
from
Sean.
7-1. Yeah, another thing I got from 7-1 that connects like Chicago and earthquakes is because remember how as we talked about the study of earthquakes began in 585 BC. So
Yeah. Yep.
from the Georgia Guidestones, because the Georgia Guidestones, they were built in the sixth day of the 12th month of that year, and from that location to the McCormick Center in Chicago is exactly 585 miles versus something like that.
585 miles, really?
There's a big a lot of earthquake stuff with that number, and then Chicago. I definitely have to go review it, but yeah, hopefully, dude, I would love if you gotta get him on a chat sometime. I mean, that guy's crazy. I hope you're listening, 7-1.
No, he's really good. He's really good. He just doesn't make videos a lot anymore. I think he's not making as
I
many.
don't blame him.
Right?
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, but every time he releases one, I always enjoy watching it. It's always really good.
Yeah, I owe a lot to him just because like all my stuff is really based on 612 and 811, and I learned that from him. But I've been able to find like a lot of my own things. But he definitely got me like started. So, yeah, I might have to go back to work really soon. But can I like just share a few really small like quick day durations that have to do with it's the article you shared. You know,
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So you know how 6 times 12 is 72, right?
Yep.
So 6, 12, 72, like the date 6/12/72 to when that article was written is 43 years and 39 days, like 4339, and 4339 is a 593rd prime, and 593 is a 108th prime. So like it's like this prime number changes. Revelation 6:12 is the 108th verse.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty intended. And then with your date, the 719. Okay. So another thing that I did, so like we just talked about that Revelation 6:12 is the 108th verse, right?
Yep.
So 612 plus 108, that equals 720. And then so if you go from 720 72, so I'm basically doing like 720 for the 612 plus 108, and then the year 72 for 6 times 12. So 720 72 to your date tomorrow is a span of 612 months exactly.
Oh, really? Wow. Interesting.
The 216.
Yeah.
216 is double of 108.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I see those all the time. I see they're all scrambled up like that. As you'll see a 612 or a 621 or yeah.
Yeah, it was Thoracic Liars who pointed me onto those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
that date is August 4th, which is Garrow's prediction for the non-fatal head wound for Trump.
Yeah.
And the sum of 6,120, the sum of divisors of that number I think is like 21,060 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's no coincidence that JFK was born on the day leaving 216. Obama was born on the 216, and obviously 6 times 6 times 6 216, and I just see this number a lot too. And if it is tied to Elvis, like Jurassic.
Oh, that's what I was going to say about Elvis. Yeah, because You said something about the connection between Seattle and Hawaii, and
Right,
Elvis did the it all happened at the state fair, the World Fair, whatever. That was in Seattle in 1963, and then 10 years later in 73, he was doing that live show by satellite, Aloha from Hawaii, and both 63 and 73 are connected to this year.
Yeah, and I think the eclipse too, because so you know the 666 prime is 4,973, right?
Yeah.
Familiar with that? So from 4973 to the eclipse next year, the big one, is 612 months.
Huh. Well, that's big.
Or span of six. Oh no, it's 612 months. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the last two things are regarding the date you were talking about 8/1, because I was kind of looking at some stuff while you're talking about that. So this will be the last two, and then I'll let you guys finish. But this is gonna have to do with 8/11. So you've seen in 7/1's like channel how the ordinal value of the Revelation 8/11 is 1377, right?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that? So the 1377th prime number is 11411. That's the 1377th prime number. So from that, and you know Revelation 8/11 is about nuclear, or wormwood, Chernobyl. So 11, the date 11411 to the August 1st date you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4,289 days, and that's the 589th prime number. And the prime factorization, the 589 is 19 times 31, and those are the 8th and 11th primes. So it's like a big chain
Okay.
of a code, but
That
yeah,
589.
but
That 589 is interesting too, because if anyone's a part of the XRP like decoding community, there's this weird riddle that goes on in the XRP community. It's always this riddle that says XRP will go to 589, and
oh wow,
if you don't know the community, you won't understand how big this number is. But the number 589 is a big number in my life because it was like a number that I always saw because I was decoding all this so much. Anyways, everyone in the XRP people, like, they always know this number, so it's interesting that number comes up.
yeah. And then this will be the last one for me at least. And then I'll join back in the chat just to type some stuff. But so since that was regarding Revelation 8:11, so Revelation 8:11 is the 30,839th verse of the entire Bible. Okay, and so when you break that into the date 3/08/39, so March 8, 1939, to your 8/1 date is exactly 4,404 weeks. And we were talking about how 444 is like a nuclear code, right? Like I think we talked about that last time. 444.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's exactly 4,404 weeks to that same August 1st date that you were talking about. So that's just interesting because you know the 444 nuclear, and then like the other one where it had to do with the 589. So just two pretty crazy
Interesting.
instances of
Yeah.
8/11 for that one day. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look more. I'll definitely keep more. I'll look more into it and stuff, and I'll let you know if I find anything.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, you definitely have a way with numbers. So anything you could type out in the one of my videos somewhere, just type out everything, and or just I can give you my email somewhere too, or I can write it in here if you want it.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be great.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, I can do that, or we'll I don't know if there's a private chat in here. I can write to you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks
So
for
I'll do
letting me
that.
join
But
in, man.
yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. And
Yeah,
you're
but
allowed to come
yeah,
on
so, sorry if
anytime
some
you
of my
want.
stuff is like. Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, sorry if some of my stuff is like kind of hard to interpret.
No, it's fine, man. I mean, I can understand most of it. Maybe some of the viewers are, they might be a bit behind because a lot of them depends on how good they are with numbers, I guess. But
Yeah, I have a bad habit of like I use really big numbers. That's kind of like my thing.
right,
But
yeah,
I think hopefully if I could like type it out and then it'll it'll probably be like it'll make more sense if you see it.
right, yeah. Yeah, that's why I said just go ahead and type it out, and then I can see it in the chat, and then we'll keep bouncing stuff off each other for sure.
Will do. It was great talking to both of you guys. Yeah, I'll try to stay and listen for more.
Okay, man. Thank you. Take
All right,
care.
see you guys. You too.
I just typed something in the chat, but I misspelled it.
Yeah, my computer is being all wonky right now here.
Woo! Yeah, see that. Yeah, there's supposed to be praseodymium with an M, not an N there. 2 M's towards the end. But I just realized that it equals 159 numerologically, and so does Mount St. Helens. Because I'm seeing the Three Sisters, which are in Oregon, right? Mount St. Helens is in Washington, but the Three Sisters are in Oregon.
Yeah.
And from a play that was written in 1901 and a movie that came out in 1954, both called Three Sisters, that leads to 2040, the Phoenix year. So you could see like the Three Sisters going off in the Phoenix year, but 2024 being 16 years back, and really 16 and a half times 16 and a half is 33. So it might not be a 16 year, but a 16 and a half year. So I've already said that there's a chance for Mount St. Helens to go off this year. And that might be like the matching event that we would see for the Three Sisters going off in 2040. The ripple back, in the Northwest United States, a ripple coming back this way from the Phoenix event that might include the Three Sisters. We could see how Mount St. Helens going off this year or next would match up there. And Mount St. Helens went off in May of 1980. So
Yeah, it's very interesting because it wasn't there also a volcano being heavy this year. Like there was a couple this year, wasn't there? Already?
There's all kinds of volcanoes. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to do volcanoes and earthquakes because there's so many, like date wise for me.
Yeah.
Because they're happening all the time. If you go to a country that has earthquakes, they have a lot of them. And
right,
so
yeah.
there's it's hard to do anything isometric with that because they just happen all the time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the one I was thinking of, I thought there was something going on in Iceland. There was like a volcano in Iceland that was in the news.
Yeah. Well, there is. Yeah. It just started going off a few days ago, sometime in the last week. And I told you that was like the first thing I said was in 1783. Yeah, 1783. 2 volcanoes went off in Iceland and killed almost 20,000 people, one in June and one in July.
Huh. Well, in the show, there was a show that came out last year called The Rings of Power. It was a Lord of the Rings movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a show on Amazon, yeah?
Yeah, and that movie or that show was really big about this volcano. There was like I remember there was like one of the episodes, like the whole thing was started by, like the evil Sauron, the all-seeing eye guy, and he was trying to like take this land, and the way he did it was he got the water under, he ran some water underneath like the ground, and it caused the volcano to explode somehow. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I always wanted to go back and look at that because it seemed really symbolic the way they did that on that show.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I do remember that scene. It was interesting. They showed it in a show I was just watching recently. They used that scene in a video that I just watched. Can't remember what it was, though.
Oh, the scene from that show, huh?
Yeah, where she's just facing the wall of stuff coming at her. Yeah, and you're looking at her back.
Right, yeah.
That's interesting, because it was just yesterday. I watched a video that had that scene in it. Weird. Hey, I've got an appointment at 5:30, so I'm going to have to get jamming on here.
Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, it's late here anyway, so I'll.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's hot too. It's storming outside, so I hope everyone can hear me well. I mean, it's
Oh
not
yeah.
so. It's not so loud.
I could not hear the other person very well, but I can hear you just fine.
Okay, yeah, his mic was a little off, but I could hear him, but I had to listen real hard.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, he's writing in the chat now, so I can
Oh,
actually
right on.
read what he's saying there. Anyways,
Well, you
yeah, I
guys
mean,
can keep on going. I'm just gonna have to check out, but it's cool. I like bouncing around all this cool stuff, exchanging data.
yep, I'm sucking it all up and trying to find more things in my own research too. I've been a little stagnant the last few days, but I've been just staying on this 8-1 day. I just saw so much connected to it with Biden, and I don't know, I was just stuck on that. But yeah, I'm sure tomorrow I'll try to get on something else. I don't know exactly what. I just kind of go with the flow, I guess.
Set yourself up a Buy Me a Coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com and check it out. It's really easy, and then people will be able to buy you coffees, and you'll get a few bucks here and there, and it adds up.
Yeah, that would really be helpful. I mean, I have a few people that have done some subscribers on YouTube, but YouTube takes a lot of that money anyway, so I'd rather do it off YouTube.
Yeah. I don't
So
even think I qualify yet. I think you have to have like 4 million views or something like that before you can even do that. So
yeah, I have a lot of views, but I have enough views, but I don't know how long it took me to actually where I would actually be able to get that because I just got monetized recently, so that's
gotcha.
yeah.
All right. Well, salute. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, Square Peg. We'll see you again next time.
You're amazing. Mwah.
You too. Bye bye. All right, guys. Well, Square is gone. Is there anyone else? Last call for anyone else who would like to jump on the stream. I want to give another person a shot if they would like. I don't want to be on here too much longer anyway. But before we go, guys, like she said, I'm going to create myself a Buy Me a Coffee account. I also have a YouTube subscriber. You can be a super subscriber if you want. Once again, thanks, Square Peg. Much love to her and to Sean, who are both on. And thanks, Sean, for sharing your grit information. And yeah, I mean, I guess we'll call it a night, guys. It's already 12 here. And I appreciate all of you for coming on. And sorry I didn't get a chance to read a lot of your guys' comments in the chat, but I'm sure you guys were keeping the conversation good and nice in the chat, hopefully. And anyways, hopefully you guys are well, and I will probably do another live stream in a few days. So yeah, it looks like Kevin's in the chat. Kevin says Patreon or Venmo. Yeah, I have to set up some things for payments, but yeah, if anyone wants to just do right now, only thing I have is to be a subscriber or super chats on here. That's about all I have right now. But I'm going to look into the coffee thing, and also I'll look into Venmo. And Kevin, yeah, I appreciate you too, bro. You should come on here whenever you get a chance. You're probably busy now. I know when I have to do the stream, it's late in Germany, so I know most of you guys are probably busy and working during the day. So anyways, okay, Zell, you guys say Zell's good? Okay, I'll look into that. All right, guys. Well, if there's no one else, I appreciate you all. Much love. And again, keep an eye out for my next live stream. Yeah, Sean is really good with numbers. Thanks again for coming on, Sean, and Square Peg. No problem, Sean. It's fine. I could hear you. It's just I think there's some, I know you're at work, so it's hard to be, have the best mic set up. All right, I'm getting off here, guys. Good night to you all from Germany. Guten Nacht, as they say here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love. Take care. Many blessings.